I had finally settled into this charming little suburb in sunny Orlando, Florida, back in the spring of 2024. After years of hustling in the city, it was the kind of place where palm trees swayed lazily and everyone waved hello. But beneath that friendly facade lurked the iron fist of the Homeowners Association. My one true pride and joy was my custom electric blue Tesla Model S, decked out with all the bells and whistles, solar panels on the roof for that eco-friendly vibe, and a silent engine that purred like a contented cat. I'd poured my heart into it, saving every penny from my graphic design gigs to make it mine. It was my sanctuary, my quiet escape after long days. Never zipping faster than 15 miles per hour on those winding neighborhood roads. But oh, it caught the eye of Karen, our HOA president, a woman whose jealousy festered like an untreated wound. She was the type who ruled with a saccharine smile masking pure venom, always meddling in everyone's business, complaining about everything from holiday lights to mailbox colors. Her own life seemed picture perfect, a sprawling house with manicured lawns, but deep down, she seethed at anyone who dared shine brighter. One crisp morning in May, I found a nasty note taped to my windshield. Scrawled in her unmistakable loopy handwriting, "Your flashy car is a menace to our serene community. It's too showy, too modern, and it endangers our peaceful vibes. You have 10 days to get rid of it or face consequences." I chuckled at first, snapping a photo for my private collection of absurd neighborhood drama, thinking it was just her usual overreach. After all, the HOA bylaws said zilch about vehicle styles, and I'd seen her barreling down the streets in her gas-guzzling SUV at 40 miles per hour, honking at kids on bikes. But Karen wasn't joking. Her envy twisted into something darker, more destructive. She started whispering to neighbors, spreading lies that my Tesla was a silent killer luring teens to joyride. Her voice dripping with false concern while her eyes gleamed with malice. I tried to brush it off, focusing on my work and weekend drives along the nearby lakes. But her harassment built like a storm cloud, making me dread stepping outside. Little did I know, her pettiness was about to explode into outright villainy, pushing my emotions from amusement to raw fury. As the days ticked by, Karen's campaign against me intensified, turning our once welcoming neighborhood into a battlefield of gossip and glares. She'd corner people at the community pool, her face flushed with righteous indignation, ranting about how my car disrupted the harmony with its sleek lines and quiet efficiency, as if it were a personal affront to her outdated worldview. Neighbors I'd chatted with for months suddenly avoided me, murmuring that Karen had labeled me a reckless show-off in group emails. It stung, that isolation, making me question if moving here was a mistake after all. At 35, I just wanted a peaceful spot to build my life, not this toxic drama. Then, on the 11th day, I woke at 6:30 to the sound of distant thunder, only to step out and find my Tesla utterly devastated. The solar panels were shattered into a million glittering shards. The paint job clawed with deep, vicious gouges like some wild animal had attacked it, and the tires deflated with deliberate punctures. It wasn't random vandalism, it was a targeted assault, leaving me standing there in shock, my coffee cup slipping from my hand as tears welled up. This wasn't just a car, it was my independence, my hard-earned reward after years of scraping by. A kind neighbor, Sarah, sidled up with wide eyes and whispered, "I saw Karen and her handyman buddy lurking around your driveway last night around midnight. It looked suspicious. But I didn't want to stir trouble. Suspicious? It was criminal." My heart pounded with a mix of grief and rage. How could someone be so heartless, so consumed by spite? Karen, with her perpetual sneer and entitled strut, had crossed every line, reveling in her power to destroy what others cherished. I didn't break down right there. Instead, a fire ignited inside me. Remembering the discreet dash cam I'd installed after her first threat, I rushed inside, hands trembling as I pulled up the footage. There she was, captured in high definition, her face twisted in ugly triumph as she wielded a crowbar, smashing away while hissing vile insults about upstarts like you ruining our utopia. It was horrifying. Her villainy laid bare, no remorse, just gleeful destruction that made my stomach churn. I called my attorney friend, Mike, my voice shaking with emotion, vowing that this wouldn't end with her getting away scot-free. Karen had awakened the storm, and I was ready to bring the thunder. With the evidence in hand, I dove headfirst into the fight, my emotions swinging from despair to determined resolve. The police arrived that afternoon, reviewing the video with raised eyebrows. One officer muttering, "She's not even subtle, wearing her monogram robe like it's a badge of honor." They confronted Karen at her doorstep, where she exploded in a tirade of denial and deflection, claiming she was the real victim, that my Tesla threatened family values by being too innovative, too attention-grabbing. Her voice, sharp as a knife, accused me of corrupting the youth with my eco-friendly ride, as if it were a gateway to rebellion. It was infuriating. Her shameless lies, stirring a deep discomfort in everyone who heard. How could someone so self-righteous be so utterly depraved? The HOA board scrambled with a half-hearted apology letter, unsigned by her, of course, while Karen ramped up her villainy, sending blast messages to all 30 households, labeling me a hazardous influencer and demanding a vote to ban electric vehicles altogether. Her manipulation was masterful in its cruelty, twisting facts to paint herself as the guardian angel, but it only fueled my fire. Mike built our case like a fortress vandalism, trespassing, slander from our poisonous emails, an emotional toll that left me sleepless, questioning my place in this community I once loved. By the time we filed a civil suit in July, I'd gathered affidavits from 8 neighbors who'd witnessed her rants, including Sarah's detailed account. Karen, ever the arrogant fool, showed up to the preliminary hearing alone, armed with a binder of grainy photos of my parked car, sneering that it intimidated pedestrians. Her personality shone through, condescending, unyielding. A woman who'd steamroll anyone in her path without a flicker of guilt. The judge, a no-nonsense type, peered at her and asked if she admitted to the act. I was safeguarding our haven. She snapped, her eyes cold and calculating, sending chills down my spine. It was a moment of pure revulsion. Her villainy wasn't just actions, but a toxic aura that made the room feel smaller, heavier. As the hearing ended, I felt the climax building, my heart racing with anticipation of justice. The trial in August was a spectacle, emotions cresting like a tidal wave as Karen waltzed in with feigned confidence, her floral dress, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside her. She truly believed she beheld a hero for her protective rampage, but my side unleashed a barrage of evidence that stripped away her facade. Mike projected the dashcam video on a massive screen, Karen, mid-swing with that crowbar, her face a mask of unbridled hatred, grunting about teaching lessons to entitled newcomers. The courtroom gasped. Even the bailiff shifted uncomfortably at her raw viciousness. Then came her emails, printed on crisp paper, full of venomous accusations, me as a speed demon in disguise, a threat to every child within 3 miles. Karen objected shrilly. That's twisted out of context, but the judge silenced her with a stern gaze, replying, "These are your words, ma'am." Her turn on the stand was a masterclass in villainy. She rambled about how my Tesla's horsepower, all 250 kilowatts equivalent, was a danger to domestic bliss, declaring she neutralized the beast for the greater good. The audience murmured in disbelief. Her straight-faced delusion was discomforting, a reminder of how entitlement can rot the soul. I took the stand next, voice steady, but eyes brimming with the pain of betrayal, recounting how the car represented my dreams after overcoming personal hardships, a divorce, financial struggles, and how her destruction shattered that symbol. I presented logs showing I'd never exceeded 10 miles per hour locally, testimonials from 12 neighbors praising its silence, debunking her myths one by one. As closing arguments wrapped, the tension peaked. Karen's glare bored into me, pure malice that made my skin crawl. The judge deliberated briefly, then ruled, "The evidence is irrefutable. You, Karen, are liable for full restitution, replacement value of the vehicle at $150,000, plus legal fees, emotional damages totaling $50,000, and a punitive fine of $20,000 for your harassing conduct." Her face crumpled in shock. The climax of her downfall crashing down, leaving me with a surge of triumphant relief amid the emotional whirlwind. In the aftermath, as summer faded into fall, karma wrapped its arms around Karen with unrelenting force, while I savored the sweet taste of victory. The new Tesla arrived 3 weeks later, same electric blue, but upgraded with premium audio and a custom engraving on the dashboard reading "Justice Served." I drove it home at a leisurely 8 miles per hour, windows down, playing upbeat tunes that echoed my renewed spirit. Karen's world unraveled spectacularly. The judgment forced her to liquidate assets, selling her prized vintage convertible for pennies on the dollar and dipping into savings that left her scowling at every HOA bill. Rumors swirled that her spouse distanced himself from her tirades, and her once loyal handyman ghosted her calls. She tried one last gasp at redemption during the September HOA meeting, whining that she'd acted in the name of safety and that the courts were biased against true patriots. But the room erupted in laughter. Sarah even passed around snacks, turning it into a show. The board voted unanimously to oust her as president, citing her as the real disruptor of peace. A poetic twist that had her slinking away in defeat. Now, she averts her eyes whenever I pass, her villainous spark dimmed to a pathetic flicker. Avoiding my driveway like it's cursed ground, I hung a framed copy of her original note in my garage, next to a still from the video of her in mid-destruction. A daily reminder of resilience. This wasn't just about a car. It was an emotional odyssey from violation to vindication, proving that standing up to bullies like Karen, who embody the worst of human pettiness, can restore faith in justice. Our neighborhood feels lighter now, or friendlier, a testament to how one person's unchecked evil can unite others against it. If you've ever faced a Karen in your life, know that patience and proof can turn the tide. Share your stories below. And remember, true villains always reveal themselves in the end.